But when we use it through work, yeah, because there's the recording of it right now.
Yeah, I just tried that. I just clicked it on mine.
Because it's easy, it's fairly easy to post it afterwards. I think you can download the video, and
yeah,
for a larger group, there's a way to raise hands. So if you
there's all these buttons here somewhere. Like
if you click on the participants,
see, I put yes, no,
and then raise my faster.
Hand. Yeah, I don't. Let's see, clear all. I guess somewhere I get probably. Oh, here's more. There we go. And you got hand. I guess that means clapping hand. Okay, fine.
There's a raise hand. This is the one. If you want to take floor and raise hand.
Well, that one. Where the heck is it in there? I don't see it.
It's the blue one. It's right beside. At least on mine, it's right beside yes.
Oh, mine isn't. So I probably have to. There's probably a place where I get to choose which icons are shown. Let's see here.
How come you have a recording one? Are you, because you're the host, you can record?
I think I think I can record because of that. See, and I got resume recording. I don't have a thing to raise my hand. I'm just looking around for that. Maybe it's right click. Whoops. What did I just do? I clicked something on. I clicked something on. Did anything happen? Oh, I see it. Mine shows a recording because I'm recording it. I see.
And you can have it so that you automatically enlarges the person that's currently talking. I forget which view that is. So if you have the gallery view, you can have it so that the person that's currently talking automatically switches full screen there. Yeah,
that's nice.
Switches full screen.
Yeah, this is going to take some practice. Here, I'll put no background.
Now you can blur background.
What the hell is Pond doing there? She's making funny sounds.
Yeah, I had it.
I won't stay long because there's some renovation going on, and Mom left the water yesterday, like the day before, and we just found out yesterday that she left the water running. So I have like 2 inches of water in my shop, so I have to clean everything again. It's getting old. Mom is getting old. So yeah, I have to go clean the mess.
Lovely.
So are you going to do some showcase of your project later on? Maybe I'll just catch up.
I don't really have much to show right now. I just was going to be staying home and not go to the meeting, but I just thought of launching this conference software to try it. Well, everybody was talking about it, so I thought, well, it's time to try this anyway. I think we can be more virtual, maybe overall.
Yeah, we use Zoom a lot for collaborating. It's nice. We can have like screencasts and sharing documents and votes and
And I think now during the pandemic, many of these players have allowed full features of be it Hangouts or other platforms for wider use. So I think that might be a good way.
Yeah.
Nothing screen. Oh, okay. I was going to say I could use a screen share, but I don't think I can because I.
Test poll again. Close poll result. Darcy, are you leading the poll?
Well, I just did a poll for fun to see what it does. I don't see it on my screen, but I guess you guys saw a poll and then you were able to, in theory, fill it out.
Yeah.
That's correct.
That's interesting.
That's pretty nice. I'm wondering how many people we can get on Zoom.
As far as I know, 100 or more, maybe.
Wow.
Yeah, you can get it's pretty much a corporate size machine for it.
What about 600?
Good question. I don't see why not.
I think you
I'll have
might
to
be
check the
limited to
specs.
bandwidth.
Yeah, yeah, but it does. You're right, but it has some kind of it's a pretty high-end system, I know, because all of my people in business are using it in their companies. So, yeah, you might be right. At some point, there's a bandwidth problem.
I think
I'm thinking for the conference, if there's no, like, if the crisis is getting bigger, like, I think we could do like the conferences in the morning and the work group on Zoom, but I guess workshop would be a little bit harder, but it would be nice to see people, their lab and what they're doing.
Yeah, maybe that's a good start. Is we could, just start meeting this way, just temporarily replace our regular meetup. And if people do a real meetup, some of the people might have their laptops there as well, and it'll connect the virtual, to the actual meetup.
Yeah.
Yeah, people can. It'll just be interesting. It'll take a while to figure out what this, how people will value this or not value it.
I'll just try something right now.
Yeah, I can see your screen, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you see the screen? Can you also see my video or just the screen?
Both.
Both? Okay. Yeah, because then I can. I think in this case, if I move the camera, let's say. Actually, 1 second. I will put it. I have a tripod handy. I'm in quarantine now, so I'm pretty much in the basement for next. Well, I think I get released. I get a phone call from a health Ottawa today, but I'm asymptomatic, so might be out soon.
Yeah.
My family just sort of slips me food under the door and runs away. No, this is not. It's not a. I was blessed to be in a meeting with the patient zero.
Oh yeah, that's freaking lovely. Yeah.
So they're not taking any chances. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean it's this is the time to really try to catch this thing. Is at the beginning.
No, for sure. Yeah. Yes, I think. So I think now you can see the screen and the video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I see a robot there.
Yeah. The arm. But it's tiny though. Can you choose between which one is bigger and which one is smaller?
You guys, I'll let you try it out.
Oh yeah, it works. You have three options. Awesome.
So I think I sent a link with this this morning. I will load.
Yeah, I saw it.
Full range of motion.
Nice.
Load.
It's pretty neat though. Oh, and if you switch left on the screen, you can see all the people at the same time. Like I can see Darcy video and yours at the same time.
Pretty nice.
Just I'm on the phone and I just swipe left.
Oh, I forgot.
Oh, you're on the phone, yeah. I don't know how to do that here. Like I see. What if I double click on this? Oh yeah, I can make it partial. Right click. Pin video. Oh yeah. You right click and you do pin, and then it makes it the big one. Right click. Well, I don't know how to undo it now, but that's okay.
I forgot to.
When we're like 100 people, we don't use Zoom though. It's like a program from MIT.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to have like ethic. When people come in, they just mute, and when they want to talk, then they unmute. Otherwise, you hear 100 people coming in.
Oh yeah, yeah. You have to mute people by default.
Yeah.
Yeah. This software apparently, it sounds pretty peaceful, and what I understand is, as more and more people come in, it automatically throttles bandwidth and things like that.
And I think it depends if it's a solo presenter that's sort of going off to a lot of people, or if it's like a webinar, where more of a conference when everyone's videos being fed and redistributed.
Yeah.
Mm. Let's try it more. I have to go. It was nice chatting with you guys.
Okay.
All right.
I'll catch you later, Pi.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Well, that's.
These days.
Who, me?
Yeah.
I've been doing a little consulting, and so my projects have been kind of slow, but consulting is booming like crazy. I'm doing all kinds of software stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Hi, Andrej.
Andre.
There's a new circuit board. Hold on, let's get some more light here. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, new circuit board just came back.
Oh, nice.
ESP32 camera with thingy, lots of that stuff. But look at this. Look at this. So, and Andre, I loved your little multi-degree of freedom movement machine. There is really neat. I can put some more light on. But I met up with Doug on Tuesday. I just wanted to show you this. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A rack and pinion.
Well, yeah. So it's a fiberglass. Sorry, it's carbon fiber rod with. And see the ends. I put a piece of.
Yeah. A twist tie and a ball joint.
But look, so the joining is a couple of V-groove bearings, right?
Yeah.
And so it's on the end of a stepper motor. Two of them side by side, and there's my drawing robot.
It's a nice Delta bot, yeah.
It's a nice Delta bot. So I got one of these kitty drawing things. Have you seen these?
No.
Liquid crystal. They're liquid crystal, and they come with a little stylus, right? And you can draw on it.
I see.
That, right? And there's a little, and if you want to erase it, there's a little button down there. But I've made a little case for it, and there's this little button erases the screen. So you write on it. Can you see the writing? I'm not sure that you can see.
Oh, yeah, I can see it now, yeah.
You can see the writing?
Yep.
And then, and it disappears. So that is the surface. The Delta bot becomes the two linked servos becomes and the arms become the articulator of a simple pen. And rather than moving the pen up and down, I'm going to move the whole platter up and down. Right? With four, so I made a little servo thing, right? You can see there. And as the servo moves, it just lifts the servo horn up.
Mm-hmm.
There'll be one of those in each corner. And when you want to lift the pen up, if you like to move to a different place, you drop the platter.
I see.
So the pen stays put, and then you bring the platter back up.
That's interesting.
If you move the pen to one side and you lift the one side up a little bit more, it impacts on this little hook on the little micro switch, if you like, and it raises.
Oh, I see.
So that's a new little design I've got in the makings right now. That's pretty
Nice.
cool. Huh? That's pretty nice. So
Is
what are
this
you guys up to? What about you, Andre?
I'm restarted my arm mostly from the firmware and software side. So I think I'm not sure if I can share the screen again. Let me see if I can still connect to it. To change the keyboard. Mostly for me was because the arm mechanics is pretty much done and has been for a while, but just having a convenient interface to actually do stuff with it was. So we can try this setup again. So I'll switch my camera.
What was the software you were using there?
It's a homebrew.
Oh yeah.
Excuse the camera.
Is it written in Python or?
Yep. So let me just see. Yeah. So you see the arm.
Yeah.
So I'll try this, and then I will also share my screen with you. Share. So this will be interesting experiment. Can you see both?
I can see the only thing I can see is the screen, the screenshot of the servo positions.
Do you see the camera as well at the same time? I think there's a way, if you click some of the buttons, you might be able to show both. This is what I'm curious to see. Think by changing the displays of.
No, I don't see it, but no, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. This is really pretty cool. So you've got a, so
yes.
It's running a little AP and.
So at the back end, it's running a little server that translates these positions to. So if you had the view of the camera view at the same time.
Oh, I can actually see it. I've got a tiny little video of it in the bottom right hand side. I can see it. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. So then
right click pin the video.
Sorry?
If you right click pin the video, I think it explodes. It goes big, I mean.
Oh, right.
And I think I'm not sure if there's a way where you can simultaneously both of them.
I think one is small size. You either have one big and one small or something like that. I don't know.
So what it has the, so I the way I typically use it, or if I want to sequence something, you can adjust the servo positions manually, or you can adjust them by pinning, and then you can save the frames. If you move it around, you can add a new frame, and let's say something like this, and then once you run it, it will repeat the motion. You can also ask it to repeat several times the same. And
that's nice. That's really neat.
And full range. I hope I have it clamped down because it's quite violent when it. And what it does, actually, if I will load. So this is something I put together, I think, in one of the videos. Just goes through the position and then just shows you the
right
mostly the interpolated motion, because sometimes the servos and then just runs the same sequence at different speeds, and these servos are some of the fastest ones which I found. And if you don't tie it down, it will whack you. And I still have my little conveyor belt from the past. So this is
right.
so this one's not
I saw your video and I was most impressed with the speed of those servos.
Yeah, these are really good. So these are I got them quite some time back in bulk, because I think individual servos are like they're like, I think $40 each if you buy them through Robot Shop.
Right.
But they're very accurate. They're digital. They have a lot of torque and they're very quiet. So that's the
very nice.
that's a nice thing. And mostly if you want to sequence something like this little factory assembly, I want to make sure that it's the sequences can be entered, edited, and saved easily. So this sort of mimics how I've done it in the past, where you can edit the JSON file and post-mortem adjust the speeds.
Right.
Save the sequences saved before. I think my block loader it's not in the right position anymore. I just yeah, I think that moved relative to low
Right.
low block hopper back there.
Yeah.
All of this was made some time back when we used to watch a lot of factory videos or how it's made videos with the kids, where there was always some sort of conveyor belt and some sort of automated machine for distributing or distributing bits and pieces, or loading or unloading the belts.
That's lovely. That's such it was. I was most impressed with its agility, and you've also I noticed you've also synchronized the motions, right? So that you interpolate the motions so that everything arrives at the destination at the same time.
That's correct. Yeah. So there was a, I'm not sure if you called it, but in the screenshots I showed just before, I have a option of either synchronizing or not. This is still a dead reckoning. These servos don't have any feedback, so there's no way to have a control loop around the position. But at the very least, you can pre-calculate how long it takes each servo to get into its position, and then it will arrive there at the same time. So you can achieve quite smooth motion even with an open loop servo controls. Certainly for things like this, the main idea at this point is to have this all these little robots that take minimal desk space if you want to then close the loop with let's say a vision system. So the idea later on would be to put a I can see, a camera at the top, or maybe a couple of cameras, and using a machine vision to try to run some sort of learning algorithm around it. So I think that's my longer term project, and you can still hear this guy which I had before. It's running the same. It has the same vintage servos, except the grip itself is entirely homemade in this case, whereas the other one is, I think it's a pre-cut from Palalu. Right. But especially with this platform, now that I'm in a quarantine, I was thinking of putting a video camera on it so I can drive around upstairs and see the family.
That's a good idea. We've got friends who've just come back from Australia, and they're in self-quarantine for 2 weeks. And my poor friend is a long-distance swimmer, and that's one of the reasons he goes to Australia. So he's in the water all the time.
Yes.
And of course, all the pools are closed now.
Of course, yes.
And so he's pulling his hair out. He doesn't know what to do for the next 12 days.
I was telling my friends that at least I'm stuck in the basement, so it's not that much different from what I would choose to do if I had nothing else. But nevertheless, it gives a chance to finish some projects.
Well, here's another project that you might like to see. This is I call this a shadow clock, but I think its second name should be labor of love, because it's I made PCBs which cover 1/4 of the entire circle, and I made the PCBs exactly 100 millimeters. You know, to fit into 100 millimeters square, so I can get them cheaply. And then I hand soldered all of the LEDs. They are the WS2812Bs, so addressables. And there are 2 rings of those. And then there's like a triangular board at the back there with the micro. It's an ESP8266 and a couple of other bits and pieces. And then in the center, there's a little a touch point. It's just a capacitive touchpad, and it's got a little gnomon, like a little a doohickey that sticks out the right height. So when this is against the wall and you press on this, the LEDs light up and cast a shadow of the gnomon on the wall, and the outer ring, of course, will cast a much shorter shadow, right?
Yes.
And the inner ring casts a longer shadow, so you have minutes and hours as different lengths of shadows, and then you have a second hand that ticks around. So an awful lot to tell the time. 120 LEDs, God knows how many hours of construction. But it works beautifully. I'm very happy with it.
Wow, that's
That's pretty nice.
And it's all like yours. It's all I've got a little AP running on it, so I can adjust everything from color to intensity and so on. I've got a few other bits and pieces. Here's a little guy. So I mounted a camera, just a small one of these small mouse cameras. Have you seen these? See that little module?
Is that a JPEG
I mounted
camera?
it on a homemade pan tilt, and it follows you. So let's say I'll turn it on there. So
Is it using OpenCV, or is it just looking for heat?
no, it's very simple. I look at the rate of change of movement of pixels, and then I sort of filter that and average it out, and there we go. So it will work in both. There we go.
Is it
It's
running?
a little bit jittery right now. I need to write some better loops for the software, and also it only really works in very good lighting conditions. So and there's a little lens that's focused. So yeah, there we go. So he does quite a nice job of tracking. So I was thinking of putting some eyeballs on there, you know, and following with eyeballs. Anyway, that's all running on a nano, and then I've got I confuse the living crap out of it. So I actually look at where the greatest rate of change of motion is. So if I point this at the camera,
of course.
it goes nuts.
Are these PWM controller, or is it just can't tell I guess just the motion of your hand is enough to?
No, what it's, hold on, one of the components. No, what it's doing is it's looking at the highest,
okay.
the highest intensity, and then as it moves very slightly, of course, the intensity moves, so it follows
exactly,
it. And then you get this funny little this poor little guy, he's so anxious, like, and when he looks at it, he just goes nuts. Yeah.
Like a,
It's like, we really shouldn't tease our electronics, should we? Oh, there's a whole slew of stuff. So I, like you, Andre, I'm always interested in messing around with mechanics and stuff.
mhm.
And so this is yet another one of those bots, you know, with two servos, but nice, you know, big chunky ones, just standard servos, and that camera will be remoted on the top.
I see.
And,
Okay.
and I've got adjustments here so that it will, as it's looking up, it actually sweeps in an arc as opposed to staying steady, you know, with a pantograph.
Mhm.
So I've got some, so that's on the go. Oh, I got ton more circuit boards came back. This is one I'm using for a word calendar, which is a ESP32. That's the Lowlin device with all of its I/O. And I got some modules. They came in the post the other day. This is a LoRa module. Are you familiar with this? Yeah. So these are the new. These are the modules. This is 100 milliwatts, and it's a line of sight. It's a kilometer.
Amazing, eh?
Yeah, and it's just a standard serial interface, and there are all sorts of parameters you can use and so on. But I'm just, it has you can vary the over-the-air baud rate as well as the communication baud rate. So I've got a couple of those which I'm going to play with too. So that's kind of fun. I've got a lot of other bits and pieces. So I don't know if you remember my clock. Do you remember? You know that So there's I've just put together one digit, and there's clock right now. So it's kind of very much a kind of second stage prototype, but it's all running, and that does. I'm going to scale this up, but as I was saying to Doug, I found these motors are interesting, but they're designed for automobile applications where you have two, like a speedometer and a rev meter on the same axis, you know.
Mhm.
And so they really are not man enough for the job. I'm concerned that if I scale it up, the tiny little gears inside will break and so on. So I'm going to redesign this with a different idea in mind. Same idea in terms of the technology, I think, but I'll probably migrate to an ESP32 for that one. Yeah. I've got. Did you ever see my ball clock?
Which clock?
My ball. It moves balls around on a platform to make
I saw
numbers.
it earlier in the game. I saw it, but I don't think I saw it complete.
Yeah, it's complete. I mean, it's not working very well, but anyway, that's something else. This is a unit that I'm working on right now. Whoops. It's
Oh,
you see that? So the numbers 0 to 55, and then I've got a companion one which is 1 to 12, and it's this is a resistive touch pad, right? So there are two servos and a pair of springs, or sets of springs, and a ball. It rolls a ball around the surface to tell the time, right? So where the ball is, you know, it represents the 5-minute increments of in that one and the time. So
And it maintains the ball in that position?
yeah, so it's a PID. It's got
Okay.
various PID feedback loops in it. And to experiment with that, I made this thing, which is a single axis PID controller, right? So it's got a time of flight sensor on one end, and then the other end is a servo with a linkage, and it balances the ball and then moves the ball along there depending on the time, right?
So your control signal is just the distance, and then you try to zero that or servo around that
Exactly,
that position.
exactly.
Okay.
Right. So I have a PID in there, and I've designed it in such a way that you can there's a little rotary switch here and a screen,
Okay.
so that you can alter the
Essentially, just a set point.
the PID, not
Mhm.
not the set point, but the PID coefficients.
Okay. Okay.
Because I wanted to see the effect of you know, how they interplay. So
Right.
that's kind of fun and games for that one. So this is my wife doesn't like a lot of this stuff, so it's my hall of fame, if you like, because I'm not allowed to go far beyond it. Yeah, I've got tons and tons of things here. Clocks galore, of course. Some nice little what have I got on the wall? Yeah. You might appreciate this. This is a logarithmic clock. So it tells time in logarithms.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah, there's a you can see the circuit board on the back, and there's a clock there that works by you know, with an epicyclic gear system. So you can, whoa, something happened. It's always fun and games when you try to demo stuff. Oh well, forget it. So it's got a little it's got a Hall effect device up at the top there, and I've just got some small a pancake motor there. Yeah, so I like this. The epicyclic gear system is very it's fun to play with, because there are many times when you need some gearing. There you go. So it's kind of smooth, a bit noisy, but quite very smooth.
Just hold it slightly higher.
Sorry?
Just hold it slightly higher.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
there you go.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Nice.
So right
Is this
now
where you needed your 13-to-1?
This is 11 to 1.
That's what I meant. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. This is the one I had. Remember, I had difficulty in getting right. So there we go. And now it moves to the real time, which probably hasn't been adjusted for. That's the problem. It takes me several days to adjust all the clocks to yeah. You might like this one. Each of these is a sand timer, and this tells the time by spinning them. So every 5 minutes they spin in appropriate direction. So all you have to do is add up those that are upright. So there's a 5 minute, 15 or 20 minute and a half hour. So yeah, so that's kind of, and then you've got the hour in the 24-hour time then.
So how do you do your design for all these gadgets? Do you use a particular CAD or software just to even just to put it, assemble it mechanically?
Oh, sorry, I don't know what that is. I still use SketchUp, and for the cam functions I use SketchUcam. Oh, somebody wants me. I better get off the. It's my sister-in-law, so this is important.
Okay.
Anyway.
Okay. See you in a bit then, Adrian.
Maybe I'll join you later if you're still on.
Okay. See you later.
Hello, Mary Rose.
There we are.
That's good. That's I think it's interesting interesting mode of presentation, and I think people being in their own habitat, you get to see maybe a wider range of projects that are otherwise difficult to bring to the meetings.
Yeah, I think it's a blessing in disguise.
So no, it's good. I think if we schedule maybe more topical meetings as well, like
yeah,
for instance, things like setting up environment for development of the ESP or SketchUp or PCB design might be interesting. Interesting exercise. Okay, I will have to drop out as well, but
okay.
It's good. It's thanks for hosting, and we'll hopefully we'll do this more often with keep this going.
I think it's got a lot of potential. I'm really glad we did this.
Mm-hmm. And I think Zoom seems to have a quite few nice features for this type of forum.
Yeah, it seems all right. You can share your screen, you can share your video and your voice. It seems to be all right. And I have the professional account.
Okay. I will just check to see if I can use my account for hosting as well. But otherwise, I want to be a good corporate citizen and make sure not abuse my privileges. But sounds
I
good.
paid for this out of pocket, so we can use it all we want.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Touch you later then.
Well, till next time.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.